I decided this morning that I needed to make some cookies, so I was going to make ginger crumbles, which are a family favorite cookie in our house. So I got out my ingredients, and this is my little beater. I have not had a stand beater in over 20 years, and the one that I had belonged to my mom. It was from the 1940s, and my dad had fixed it many times for her. And then when she passed, I took it and I used it, and Gary fixed it, and I kept it going for about 20 years, and then it just died. So I bought this one. Well, after I had put my shortening and my sugar in here, I decided I would use this, and it's not working. So in desperation, I got this out. Well, have you ever tried to do shortening, a cup of shortening and a cup of sugar with something like this? No way. So I had to do it by hand. Stay there. This keeps falling out on the floor. You should see my floor. I'll show you my floor. Look at it. There it goes again. This is the way it's been. Okay, so I got the shortening and the sugar mixed by hand using good old-fashioned wooden spoon. Time to put the egg in. Did that fine. Then you got to put in a 1/4 cup of molasses. So I get out my molasses. It's hard. So I put, it wasn't this one, it was another one. Had two that had just a little bit in it, and I thought, okay, I'll just use those up. So I put it in the microwave. It ran out, but it wasn't enough. So then I did the same thing with this one. I think I have enough. I'm not sure. I just added a little bit more. So I mixed it up. Then I mixed up my flour stuff. And here's what I've got so far. Now, this recipe, you have to kind of put it in the fridge for a couple hours, because you roll it, when you go to make the cookie, you roll it in a little ball and then roll it in white sugar, press it down, and then you bake it. And oh, they're so good. This recipe was my neighbor growing up, Mrs.Merril. She would make these cookies when we were kids, and she would come out of her house with a plate full, and she'd hand them over the fence to us, and we would eat them. And she never ever gave the recipe away. She was quite secretive about the whole thing. It was her recipe. My mom never asked for it. Anyway, long after my mom was gone, I was over there and I asked her, could I have the recipe? Oh yeah, she says, you can. She says, nobody's ever asked me for it. So she gave it to me, and since then I've made it and we've loved it. And every time I eat one of these cookies, I think of her. So this has been a disaster for baking wise. It's been really difficult to mix cookies with a wooden spoon. Now I'm left with no beaters whatsoever. I guess I'm going to have to go and buy something. I've never actually owned a regular big stand mixer. Never in my life. The only one I've ever had was my mom's, and it was one of those old white sunbeams with the black handle. You'll know what, in fact, this bowl is still from that, and so is that bowl. It's still from the original, my mom's original sunbeam beaters. And the rest of the time I've just used this. So I guess I should say I paid maybe $9 for this 20 some years ago, and it's lasted this long, and it's all I've ever used for any baking that I've done. I've ever used this. So I guess I got my money's worth out of it. I shouldn't complain. But did it have to break down today when I'm making cookies? So I am going to put this in the fridge now. I've just been scooping out the last of this molasses and eating it. I totally love molasses. And when I put that in my mouth, I think of my dad. He was telling me one time, he also could eat molasses on a spoon, just like I can. Maybe that's where I get it from. Not many people like that, but oh, I love it. And he said his love of molasses started when he was a kid. When they would go to school during the Depression, they would have molasses on bread. That was their lunch. They would take a molasses sandwich to school. And so I've never tried it on a sandwich. I just like it on a spoon. It is so good. But this is empty now. The other one's empty, so I can't enjoy any more molasses. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and then I have a mess to clean up. I can't imagine having to use only this. Can you imagine back in the early days when this was all that you had to use? I mean, I don't even know why I even have this. I think somebody bought it for me as a joke. And I've never even used it to, well, yeah, I have. I beat eggs with it, but that's about it. It certainly doesn't work with this kind of a thing. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'll let you know if these cookies turn out half decent after all of this hardship and angst. Maybe they'll still turn out okay. And I will leave the description in my description below, I'll leave this recipe because it really is a good recipe. Now, it calls for lard. I don't use lard. I just use shortening. But it's so good. Give it a try. And if you do, I hope you have a better baking day than I've had, because this has been a disaster. So let's get this in the fridge. And I might come back when I start to bake them so you can see how good they are. I'm just waiting for the oven to heat up, and these cookies are going to go in, excuse me, the oven. So all I do is I make a little round ball about that big, roll it in sugar, put it there, and then take this and smash it down. And this is how they're going to look going in. You leave them in a 350 oven for 8 to 10 minutes. My oven is about 8 minutes. And I'll show you what they're like when they come out. They are so good. Well, here they are. Mrs.Merril's ginger crumble cookies. Oh, they are such good cookies. We're going to have a cup of tea and we're going to have some cookies. So on another note, Mrs.Merril lived to be 101 years old, and we were at her 100th birthday party, and she was the belle of the party. She walked around, she greeted everybody, she visited with everybody. She had the time of her life. And shortly after that, I think she had a bit of a fall and she ended up in a nursing home. But she had a wonderful full life, and she made the best cookies. So if you're going to try these out, the recipe for the cookies are in the description below. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.